𝐄𝐳𝐯𝐲. Let's come out and showcase ourselves. Right?
Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé ẹ káàárọ̀ níbikíbi tí ẹ bá wà, ẹ tún káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa tí a pè ní Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. As we continue to give the reasons why Yoruba people must leave Nigeria, because people like criminals that have taken the bondage of many lives within Nigeria. One of those criminals made it known yesterday that they killed 𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐭𝐬𝐢, and it's a shame that many Yoruba people went to bed believing that one day Nigeria will still be a better place. Many Yoruba people that should be awake, protesting from yesterday and asking why somebody like 𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐭𝐬𝐢 was killed by Babangida and many of their criminals within the network called Nigeria, have left everything to God to take action. Good morning and welcome to the 21st of February 2025, depending on what time you are, different time zone around the world. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, and as we continue to use our platform to educate and prepare us under the leadership of Professor �SADEBANJI, while we need to leave Nigeria before people like Babangida, Buhari, Gowon, Abdulsalam, and many more kill many Yoruba people within Nigeria. Nigeria is a crime scene and it will remain so forever. The option under the leadership of 𝐵𝐷𝐷 is now available, and it is time that we say it exactly the way it is. But the reality is that many Yoruba people believe that one day things will get better and things will change within the network of Nigeria. And that is why we continue to suffer within Nigeria today. That is why we continue to suffer, because our expectation is that one day Nigeria will be a successful place and you would also become someone within Nigeria. Àsìkò tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ nísìn pé a ti mọ àwọn ọ̀tá ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, àwọn tí wọ́n fún ní nǹkan nínú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tí wọ́n wá ń lò, tí wọ́n fi ń ṣọrọ̀ ajé, tó fi ń ṣọlá, tó ní kí gbogbo àwa tó kù ká tó máa lọ prepare fún 2027, àwọn jẹgúrújẹrá, àwọn olè, àwọn bomb bastard, àwọn tó mú ayé ọmọ Yorùbá tó tọ̀nà upside down, tó sọ fún yín pé kẹ́tù lọ máa múra sílẹ̀ fún ìdìbò míì ní 2027. But the criminals are laughing at us because we are all stupid not to have activated. And I'm talking to Nigerians now, whether you are Yoruba, whether you are Igbo. But people are not ready to sacrifice anymore because they believe that God is coming to sort out their problems. But God knows that some of you are stupid because God is not coming anywhere to resolve any problem within Nigeria. We have to resolve our problem ourselves. So as I welcome you again to this transmission, I say good morning and welcome as we continue our education and reason why Yoruba people must now take their destiny and exit this contraction that British created for the Fulanis. And we've seen how the Fulanis have been able to manipulate every single one of us. How they made 𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐭𝐬 Abiola and they eventually killed him. And how those that wanted to challenge them, like 𝐬𝐧𝐢 was killed by Babangida, and how they continue to kill many innocent Yoruba people as we speak today. The question is, when is this going to stop? Nígbà wo lélẹ́yìí máa stop? If you are waiting and praying that things will stop, things will get worse, nothing will change out. Waris Jinadu says the devil says the truth. Who is the devil? Babangida, Gowon, Abdulsalam, many criminals that have enriched themselves and also given oil block to all their friends and girlfriends to intimidate millions of Nigerians. And this is the reason why Yoruba people should leave Nigeria alone to those that want Nigeria, because Nigeria will never be a successful place because there is no unity. Abiola was killed because he was a Yoruba man. Abiola was killed by the Europeans. Abiola was killed by the Fulanis, the Caliphate, the Sultan. And Abiola was also killed by many Yoruba people that he helped, many Yoruba people that he trusted, many Yoruba people that he believed in. Eventually, Abiola became one of those that sacrificed himself for Nigeria. The question is, why should we continue to celebrate this criminal country, even though evidence is right in front of us? Ṣé ìdí ló mú wa ni? Àbí èpè ló mú gbogbo wa? Tépè bá mú ẹ̀yin kò lè mú àwa, kò lè mú ìran Yorùbá. Bọ̀tá bá jókòó tẹ́tẹ́rẹ́tẹ́ tí a ṣe kankan, á jẹ́ pé èpè ti mú gbogbo wa nìyẹn. Èpè ò dẹ̀ mú wa nítorí pé a ti rí òtítọ́. Òtítọ́ dẹ̀ ni pé Babangida náà lòun pa Abiola pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tí wọ́n fún ní oil block tó ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ wọn di olówó ọ̀ṣùgbọ́n. And yet, as we continue to say it the way it is, Yoruba people will never succeed inside Nigeria. Yoruba people will never become something within Nigeria. It is time that we allow Nigeria to go. There is no amount of your prayer, there is no amount of your calling to God that will rescue you anymore. What needs to be done now is for Bola Tinubu, the president, to divide Nigeria and allow everybody to go their separate ways. If not, Nigeria will be a worst case scenario more than Yugoslavia. I greet you and I welcome you into the transmission this morning. As we continue our awareness and campaign, as we continue to enlighten many Nigerians that the unity will never be there, David Mark, a criminal that wanted to enrich himself, endorsed and supported Babangida to kill 𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐭𝐬 Abiola. Today, David Mark is still alive, another criminal within Nigeria. Some of you might not know him, but David Mark was one of the instruments that was used during the annulment of 1993 election. Many of them like that are still alive. And you can see how the gathering in Abuja went, as they were all laughing that we, the Nigerians, the indigenous people, the stupid ones that still believe that INEC will create a better result for you in an election. Many Nigerians that are stupid, bomb bastard, waiting that one day it will be their turn to be a senator and steal money and kill innocent Nigerians for their own selfish gain. The end of Nigeria is getting closer and the international community would have to accept that, whether they like it or not. Yesterday, as I continue to tell you all the news coming out of Nigeria, the American representative, the American ambassador visited all the governors in Abuja, and the question is, for what? What is the reason? Why has the American ambassador to Nigeria decided to call all our governors? Can we call all the governors in America and bring them on the round table? Can President Bola Tinubu use our American ambassador in America to call on the governors and tell them to come down and they can talk to them? This is how the West still continue to see us as puppets. What was the discussion that the U.S. ambassador decided to call all our governors as if they are calling their children within Nigeria to talk to them? President Bola Tinubu instructed the Nigerian representative ambassador to call all the governors within the 52 states of America and ask if they want to see or talk about 31. But this happened right in Nigeria yesterday. Let me quickly give you what we know so far. Also, I'll be telling you what was the reason why the British deputy ambassador in Nigeria paid a courtesy visit to Ooni of Ife. Are they worried that the Yoruba people are now crying out that they will leave Nigeria, whether by peace or by whatever means? If peace does not work, then whatever means that will allow us to be free from the bondage, to retain back our true identity, would have no other choice than to do so. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. As we continue to educate you and give you all the reason why Nigeria must now break up. American ambassador, governor, see Abuja. Imagine an ambassador calling our governors and say, come, Emabo. Òun ní ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń fẹ́ bá yín sọ. Kí ni nǹkan tó sọ? Kí ni ìwúlò nǹkan tó sọ? Kí ni àǹfààní nǹkan tó sọ? This is what happened in Abuja some few days ago. Let's listen. That is how the governors were all walking in as if the student is being called by their principal. Nigeria is no longer working, and it is time that the America, the European allow Nigeria to dissolve before Nigeria goes into chaos. They were all going in one at a time. A white man has called the black people to sit and continue to fool us as they've done, as America continue to fund the Boko Haram. Àwọn gómìnà ló wọlé lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan ní méjì láti ilẹ̀ Haúsá, ilẹ̀ Ìgbò, ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, nígbà tí ambassador America tó pè wọ́n, èyí tó representi wọn America nílùú Nàìjíríà. Arákùnrin tó ń pè ní Richard Mills, the United States ambassador to Nigeria, has also dismissed allegation that U.S. agency for international development, tó ń pè ní USAID, fund Boko Haram or other terrorist organizations. Inú pàdé náà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ tẹ́ ń wò yìí. Àwọn gọ́fúnà wa lọ́rẹ́ ní bùsùbùsù nígbà tí ọmọ skul tó lọ sí skul tí principal fi bá sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ wo bí ayé wa ṣe ta sínú Nàìjíríà. Ẹja gbọ́n kan tó fi sọ.
Useful and productive meeting with the governors here at the Governors Forum. I outlined my vision for where the U.S.-Nigerian relationship is headed.
Let me quickly analyze that. The U.S.-Nigeria relationship is no longer going to work. It needs to now dissolve. There can be a Biafra-U.S. relation. There can be Hausa-U.S. relation. There can be Middle Belt U.S. relation, and there can be Yoruba-U.S. relation. But the relationship between Nigeria and the U.S. must now stop because it is no longer working for the indigenous people. America representatives were on seat when 𝐄𝐲𝐬𝐢 died. Condoleezza Rice, as we know, was the U.S. Secretary when the late 𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐭𝐬 Abiola was killed. And we know what happened after that. We know how many things we have heard. The tea, the cup of tea, and this, hate him or like him. And I'm just reminding you Yoruba people that we have enemies within and enemy outside. According to Femi Fani-Kayode, on the June 9, 2013, 𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐭𝐬 Abiola, Susan Rice, and a deadly cup of tea. Now we have known how 𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐭𝐬 Abiola died. I'll come back to that in a minute. Let's hear more. As the U.S. ambassador is now also denying that there was no evidence that the USAID was funding Boko Haram, even though their senator said so, that the evidence is clear. It is time that we tell the international community that we are tired and we have had enough of the contraction called Nigeria, and the indigenous people needs to retain their right to self-determination peacefully and non-violent. But if care is not taken and they do not accept such, then Yugoslavia situation will be worse than Nigeria. And I hope some of you understand what happened during the Yugoslavia. Blood stream, yet many countries pull out of Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia eventually became a breakup, and that breakup brought out many other beautiful countries out of that crazy country that was called Yugoslavia. The same thing is going to happen in Nigeria, because whether you like it or not, the sooner you accept and believe it, or before it goes into something else, Nigeria is at the verge of breakup. The breakup of Yugoslavia began in 1980 and ended in 2006. The Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia dissolved into several independent countries. Nigeria would also dissolve into many nations. And the end is getting closer for those of you that still do not accept. But Babangida is telling us that we should forgive him. Yet, the American government is calling the U.S. ambassador in Nigeria to go speak to all the 36 states. Who the hell is America to be calling those governors? Can President Bola Tinubu call all the governors in America to a conference in America? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu only know the U.S. ambassador in America and call all the governors in America and bring them on the round table and be having discussion. This is what will not be tolerated in a Yoruba country. They know that already. If the puppet governors cannot understand that, it is time that you as a Yoruba man understand that your enemies is within and outside. Let's hear more from the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria. And this was the outcome of the meeting yesterday. I don't know whether it was yesterday, but this is what I picked up from the channel's television.
Here and under a new administration, I explained to them we're going to be focusing on 4 key priorities over the coming years. The first is how to improve the business environment.
Who is the business environment has helped between Nigeria and America in the last 64 years? That will benefit. She will benefit. Since the relationship between Nigeria and America, the relationship between European and Nigeria, UK and Nigeria, have you ever benefited any jack shit from America? Kilo benefit. Rather than benefit inside Nigeria, we all jack back to America for a better and a greener pasture. Because those relationships only favor those that will favor the 1% within Nigeria. Who is stupid? You can see why it is important that they don't want Yoruba people to have their own country. They know that Tabagba country, things will not be the same. We will dictate. We would have good communication. We will have good relationship. The business between Yoruba country and America must reflect on the citizen, not just the minority within Nigeria as it stands right now. So you want to and sọ fún pé Yorùbá country lọ́nà àbáyọ. America náà ló ti mú nǹkan mẹ́rin wá fún Nàìjíríà. Ó wá pass message yẹn fún àwọn governor kó lọ kó fún gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tó ń pera wọn ní Nàìjíríà, don't bastard. This again is how the US ambassador tó pè rẹ̀ ní Richard Mills, the United States to Nigeria, Richard Mills, also dismissed allegation that the United States Agency for International Development, known as the USAID, fund Boko Haram or other terrorist organizations. Mills, who met with the members of the Nigerian Governors Forum in Abuja on Wednesday night, alẹ́ ni wọ́n ṣèpàdé, alẹ́ ló ń ṣèpàdé òru, ìpàdé kọ̀kọ̀, ìpàdé tó fi destroy ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, òru ló ń ṣe. While you are sleeping, Nigeria continue to be planned in the middle of the night. In the night when most Nigerians do not have electricity to know what is happening within their surroundings. Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. And it is important that Tinubu understand this, that Yugoslavia was powerful. But the breakup of Yugoslavia did happen. The split happened. And there are various reasons for the country's breakup, ranging from cultural, religious division between ethnic groups making up the nation to the memories of World War II atrocity committed by all sides, just like the committed atrocity by Gowon, killing 5 million Biafra, the deadliest war, the deadliest genocide. Gowon is still alive, and yet nothing has been done. Gowon was 32 years old when he was the head of state. He is now in his 80s, and yet they are still telling us what to do. Ó jẹ́ kí orí wa pé and know what to do, because we all adults. Gowon cannot still dictate to us, but we have given them the room to dictate. When the rally is called, don't come out. Most of you will suffer the injustice for a very long time. Tọ́ba tí ní ká jáde kó má jáde, you will really want to suffer, because some of us might just abandon you for you to suffer with those elements of criminals. But we don't want to abandon anybody. That is why we are preparing our mind. And we are preparing our mind to understand that nobody will free you, not even America, not even Great Britain. Let's hear more. But who and who understand that many countries eventually pull out of Yugoslavia? 7 countries will come out of Nigeria, if not more. But the Yoruba people that are 60 million have the right. Armenia is 3 million in population and is a country. Yoruba are 60 million, and we don't need Nigeria because Nigeria is no longer valuable working for we, the Yoruba indigenous people. Croatia, Montenegro, Serbia, Slovenia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Macedonia. These are countries that pulled out from Yugoslavia in 2006. Yele Yoruba ma pull out. The declaration of Yoruba people will happen, and it must happen very, very fast, so that we can defend our territory with our blood and protect us from the invaders within the Yoruba territory. And many Yoruba people that have compromised because they wanted to live a better life, given oil blood by Babangida. Most of them are all in that room when Babangida was launching his fake book after they killed 𝐄𝐲𝐢𝐭𝐬. Let's hear more from these representatives of America. What do they coming in and out, 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐬, to come and tell us that Nigeria will be a better place, knowing fully well that Nigeria can never be a better place, as David Lammy continued to tell lies. By 2075, Nigeria will be a top 5 economy in the world. Irọ́ ló wà níbẹ̀, kò sí òtítọ́ ẹyọ kan nínú ẹ̀. Tó bá dúró de gbogbo táwọn òyìnbó bá sọ fún ẹ, ikú ti pa ẹ́, bó ṣe pa 𝐿.K.Abiola. Because àwọn òyìnbó assure 𝐿.K.Abiola. I remember when 𝐿.K.Abiola was picked up from his residence in Ikeja, he was speaking to BBC. The same people that are British Bias Corporation. Eventually, 𝐿.K.O. got killed while Condoleezza Rice brought whatever she brought. But we know that the last thing 𝐿.K.Abiola had was a tea, and he died. He never made it out. Babangida is not telling Nigerians to forgive and forget and accept the fate that Abiola sacrificed himself, and yet is happy that Buhari, another Fulani man, has now made Abiola a president that was never meant to be. How do you feel as a Yoruba man? Ó jẹ́ ká wà lójú títì látàná, ẹ̀rí pé gbogbo wa ti lọ sùn, àbí? Ó jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ti bọ́ sójú títì látàná to demand that MK Abiola's death must not go in vain. But nobody wants to go out anymore. They are now waiting for Igboho, the one that will come and liberate us. Because all those that should liberate us have all been either killed, chased out of Nigeria, or given one kind of inducement within Nigeria. Ẹni tó gba oil block, ó ti gba minister. Ẹni tó gba minister, ó ti gba governor. Ẹni tó gba governor, ó ti gba house of rep. Kódà ẹni tó gba house of rep, ó ní kọ́kọ́ fóun ní ojú títì Lagos State kóun máa gbá. So nobody wants to come out and fight anymore. You can see the division within Nigeria today. The way tí wọ́n announce pé àwọn làwọn pa Abiola, that the election was annulled in 1993. Ó yẹ ká tún jáde padà ni. Ó yẹ ká wà lójú títì ká máa demand for, we do not want to be part of this country anymore. But wọ́n ti fáwọn kan ní National Road Transportation Union president. Wọ́n ti fáwọn kan ní different, depending on your grade, they know that the Yoruba people love money so much. So tó bá ti fún wọn lówó, ó ti sọ̀rọ̀, ọ̀gá ò sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́, ọba ò sọ̀rọ̀, baálé ò sọ̀rọ̀, ìjòyè ò sọ̀rọ̀. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́?
So there's more trade between the United States and Nigeria?
All the trade, I'm asking you, Mr. Ambassador, all the trade that has occurred within Nigeria in the last 64 years between America and Nigeria, who has benefited it? Ta ló jàǹfààní ẹ̀? Who benefited from all this trade? Okòwò tẹ́lẹ̀ ń bá Nigeria ṣe, ta ló benefit? Nobody, because kò benefit èmi, and I'm sure pé kò benefit many people as well. Nigeria must now allow indigenous people to live and live before it is too late. If not, wàhálà tó máa wá sí Nigeria ó máa ju ti Yugoslavia lọ.
Both sides. Second, a new renewed focus on improving transparency, accountability in this country, how to fight corruption.
You cannot fight corruption, Mr. Ambassador, and you know that better than me. How do you fight corruption when everybody is a stakeholder in this criminal country you call Nigeria? You think you can deceive us? You have been telling us that they are fighting corruption in Nigeria, yet many money end up in American banks. The one that we know lately was 𝐿𝐴Z𝐷 designing how money that was meant for people within Nigeria end up right inside America. Designing, as we know right now, 𝐿𝐴Z𝐷 has been charged in the United Kingdom. She has been charged for corruption by the National Crime Agency in the UK. A case will be heard this year, and I will be in the court, God willing, to witness that case, subject to how our rally goes as well, because I cannot be in two places simultaneously. We pray that our rally will bring out our final result, and we pray it will be done swiftly, neatly, and our demands will be met. If not, we will remain outside until our demands are met. But we will continue to update you about how 𝐿𝐴Z𝐷, another criminal within Nigeria, designing 𝐿𝐴Z𝐷, according to the BBC, in an alleged stolen fund to Nigeria, close to $53 million, almost 43 million pounds, in an alleged illicit fund, has been recovered from Nigerian former oil minister 𝐿𝐴Z𝐷, a criminal, as we know within Nigeria, but allegation within the UK. But I can call her a criminal because that is what the Nigerian government is calling her. She's wanted in Nigeria. She ran out of Nigeria, deceiving us through Daily Momodu that she had a cancer. 𝐿𝐴Z𝐷 is a fraudster. use Nigerian money with our boyfriend Aluko and many criminals within Yoruba, Igbos, and Hausa to steal funds meant for indigenous people out of Nigeria to America. And if these ambassadors telling us about corruption, they better keep their mouth shut, because no corruption can end in Nigeria. The only way we can end corruption is when we have our own independent indigenous people having their own country. Alisimante case used the public fund services. Among others, will be used to fund public services. The country justice minister said the money is being sent back to Nigeria from the United States, whose authority alleged that Alison Madueke enriched herself, just like IBB gave money to many people within Nigeria, gave them oil block, turned them into billionaires, and they are the same people donating money to Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, the former military dictator that killed MK Abiola, that killed innocent military officers, that did coup and turned that coup to become enemies against people. Let's go to Dr. Kemi Onuloyo 8 hours ago on Facebook. Today is a very sad day in Nigeria. I come back to the US ambassador. I just want to bring this in quickly as I remember. Today is a sad day in Nigeria. Nigeria has always been a sad day since 1914 fraudulent amalgamation by the British that hated the Yoruba people so much, never gave Awolowo the chance to become the leader within the Nigeria that was put together. One more put about Awolowo the opportunity in the journal long. The British rigged the election in 1959. One more in Awolowo Mashi. The hatred that the British have for us is what we are experiencing in Nigeria today. Kemi Onuloyo went further. Mark down February 20, 2025 for your kids and grandkids. Nigeria will not exist, so we can still remember whatever happened in Nigeria after Tabatifi Nigeria today. Just like we are using the case study of Yugoslavia, last Shedumari, in Jesus' name, Inshallah, Nigeria will use as case study for the next country to break up. The way Yugoslavia tan lo leni, the same way lo ma lo Nigeria no. Like the Elijah, lulu kan to nile Yoruba. Because we will not back down and we will not give up. And we will do everything to use to prepare our mind for whatever circumstances or scenarios that will play out. 2025 would be a year that we will remember, but we must prepare our mind for whatever circumstances. Tó bá máa bọ́ sórí M1, ẹ jẹ́ kó bọ́ sórí M1. Ẹni tó bá kú á kú, ẹni tó bá máa yè á máa gbádùn ẹ̀ lọ. I told Nigerians, stupid Nigerians, one bastard Nigerians, olórí burúkú Nigerians that are thinking that they have a country. I won't lose you. I am a Nigerian. Yet you have never tasted anything out of Nigeria. Ìyà ló ń jẹ lójoojúmọ́. Common hospital you cannot go. Common health care you cannot find yourself in. Beggy on social media. Beggy on social media. Abi, is that not what we have turned ourselves into? Including myself, beggy. But not all of us, because some of us understand that Nigeria was a failure. That's why we ran out of Nigeria in 1998 when I left that shithole country. 1998 is about almost 25 years ago. I left that your corrupt Olori Buruku country that will never work. One bastard all over the place. Let's take it back again. Today is a very sad day in Nigeria. This is put together by Kemi Onuloyo, doctor, well-respected Yoruba woman that many of you are calling mad woman. Especially Yomo Igbo. And Yomo Igbo people that continue to abuse Kemi Onuloyo, it don't go better for you now. Gbogbo àwọn Yorùbá tó bá bú Dr. Kemi Onuloyo, especially the Igbo people that continue to call her mad people because she put out the video on the spot. Bomb bastard. How many of you can have 2 PhD? Bomb bastard. Do you know what it means to have 2 PhD? You think Kemi Onuloyo is like your corrupt 419 politicians that cannot even have school SAT. Even Adeleke does not have school SAT. ẹni ṣoríire gbogbo ẹni tó bá bú Dr. Kemi Olunloyo ogun máa pa gbogbo yín ni, especially ẹ̀yin ọmọ Igbo yẹn. Continue to abuse her and say she's a mad woman. Your mother is a mad woman. Your papa is a mad woman. Bomb bastard ẹni kúre, especially the Igbo people, for continued intimidation on this Yoruba woman that is a precious to many of us, including myself, because she's a mentor. Ẹni ṣoríire ni mo sọ fún gbogbo yín. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ń bú Dr. Kemi Olunloyo ẹni ṣoríire ogun máa pa gbogbo yín ni. One bastard. Wọ́n ní gbọ́ sí lẹ́nu gbàtẹ́ kó lórí burúkú wọn Davido lọ ń tẹ̀lé. Tí Davido bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí bú ìyá yẹn, òun náà dẹ̀ máa jìyà ẹ̀ láyé, ìyẹn Davido. Pé kò ní jìyà yẹn irọ́ ló pa. Wọ́n fi kú yọ̀yàn ni. Kékeré ló ṣì rí pẹ̀lú ọmọ ẹ̀ tó kú. Kó má lọ apologize fún Dr. Kemi Olunloyo. Ká máa padà wá báwo náà. Èèyàn máa lè. Common university púpọ̀ ní yóò lè kọ́. Common sentence lè kọ́ nínú Nàìjíríà. Common sentence. Compare yourself to somebody that have 2 PhD. Do you know what it means? Do you know what it means to have 2 PhD? Idiot all over the place. The best journalist you can ever think of in that contraction called Nigeria. Today is a very sad day in Nigeria. History marked down February 20th, 2025 for your kids and grandkids. I told Nigerians in 2015 and 2020 what Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida called IBB, the criminal that killed 𝐄𝐲𝐢𝐭𝐬 Abiola, said today. General David Mark, Olori Buruku David Mark, Olori Buruku David Mark, you know go better for you, David Mark. Oh, ní ṣoríire. Àwọn ọmọ ṣì máa kú mọ́ ẹ lọ́wọ́ ni. Gbogbo tó bá ní ò ní jèrè ẹ̀. Gbogbo tó bá ní pátápátá ò ní jèrè ẹ̀. Ìwọ tó ń pèrè ní David Mark. Ò ní jèrè ẹ̀ láyé, ò ní jèrè ẹ̀ lọ́run. General David Mark threatened 𝐄𝐲𝐬 Abiola unless IBB annul the election in his exact words. If you don't cancel that Abiola win, ìyẹn David Mark ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, we will kill him ourselves. Where's 𝐄𝐲𝐬 today? He was killed by those he trusted, those he put his life to think that they are better, they will look after him. Even some of our kings were gbowo lórí 𝐄𝐲𝐬 Abiola. A man that stood firm and says, if you don't give us 𝐄𝐲𝐬 Abiola, we will not allow Nigeria to have peace. This day, Chief Edwin Clark and Chief Ayo Adebanjo both died almost same time last week, if not this week. Should be alive. They both passed away earlier this week. When I tweeted these, David Mark late song, that's what they do. Politician. The late David Mark song, Tunde, continued to threaten Dr. Kemi Olunloyo on Facebook. One bastard. But I did not back down. You never back down for the truth, because òtítọ́ ló máa lékè. Òtítọ́ ló dẹ̀ máa lékè lọ́rọ̀ tá gbé dání. Because the truth will break Nigeria. And the only truth is, we continue to tell you the gospel truth. Not the one Baba Adeboye is telling you, or Yadura, or all these pastors and imams and Babalawo. The only truth is the campaign for self-determination. That is where the truth is right now. Apart from very loyal pastors that understand that Nigeria is bedeviled. Pastor like Mayowa, pastor like Prophet Ayo, Prophet Adebayo, David King Leo. Those are true prophets that know that Nigeria is full of blood. The flag is already full of blood, according to prophets and many others that have spoken. But if you're waiting for Baba Adeboye to come and tell you that Nigeria will break up, you will wait forever. David Mark helped steal a mandate. The mandate of MKO Abiola, David Mark while around to G. David Mark is still alive today while MKO Abiola is dead. The then went on to become a Benue senator, sacrificed because of the senator. David Mark also ended up become the Senate president, earning 1.5 billion allocation allowances. That was what David Mark was making, 1.5 billion naira. Ibrahim Babangida and David Mark and others killed late MKO Abiola, a Yoruba man. There will never be peace in Nigeria. There will never be unity in Nigeria. The end of Nigeria is getting closer, and we will continue to tell the international community that. They killed MKO Abiola's dream. Abiola never became a president. He died in the prison after drinking a tea. Another reason I will never practice journalism in Nigeria: no believability and constant branding a mad woman. They constantly brand her a mad woman, especially the Igbos and Olushi, and not the Biafra. And if you're a Biafra that abused Dr. 𝐄𝐲𝐬𝐢, you know, go better for you as well. Oh, Nishori, bomb bastard all over the place. May God forgive you all. God will never forgive you until you all apologize to this woman. You will never find a journalist like Dr. 𝐄𝐲𝐬𝐢 in that contraction, because they are all puppet to the politicians with brown envelope. Every single one of them do not have the balls to speak. That's why Dr. 𝐄𝐲𝐬𝐢 has also left that shit old country called Nigeria. When we have Yoruba country, she must return back and be given a position by the new government of Yoruba people as quickly as possible. Nijo Tabatik, that country where we must bring back many brains like Dr. 𝐄𝐲𝐬𝐢 to become the next government representative. For those of you pastors, who will be the next? Who will be your representative? Dr. 𝐄𝐲𝐬𝐢 can be one representative because she has what it takes upstairs. Not some of your criminal governors that cannot protect you from Fulani that are killing you within your state called Yoruba land. You're mad. Today, I watch all Ibrahim Babangida proteges. Do you know what they call proteges? Hey, Lemon. How do you know all this? Because they don't want you to know. Proteges. These are the ones Babangida turned to billionaires, millionaires, in dollars, in naira, in pound sterling. So when we use the word protege, spell Papa Romeo Oscar Tango, spell Papa Romeo S Oscar Tango Echo Golf Echo, pronounced as
protégé.
Protege.
Protégé.
Bear with me, not too sure why this is coming. I know why, because I'm not in the United Kingdom, and that's the reason why. Protege is not in French. I don't want it in French. I don't need any French. I need the French, not in English.
Protégé.
Protege.
Protégé.
A person, those that Babangida Sodolowo Songon, they are lucky jazz. Name many of them, you will find them all contributed to the 17 billion money that was raised for a man that is dying slowly. He will not die straight away. Which I know, but we don't expect him to die now. He will die slowly. Yoruba country must come out quickly so that Babangida and the rest of them will know that we are not joking. And we don't have the time. And whatever it takes, let's prepare for it.
Protégé.
A person who is guided and supported by an older and more experienced or influential person. We heard Tinubu saying, without Babangida, he will not be who he is today as well. All criminals. 𝐄𝐲𝐬𝐢, doctor, says, and I quote, I watch Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, the killer of Delegiwa and the killer of many military personnel in Nigeria and the killer of the late MKO Abiola with David Mark and others. Some who got oil block like Otto Eze They will praise him. Wọ́n máa ládìí ẹ̀ náà nígbà tẹ́ pé àwọn ni Babangida kówó fún tó sọdọ̀ lówó. So what do you expect people like 𝐄𝐧𝐯 praising him that Ibrahim Babangida made him? Òun ló sọ òun di tó òun dì lẹ́nu. Use our own resources to become who they are today. And you are there thinking that Nigeria will be a better place. Oh man, don't bastard all over the place. I did not see 𝐭𝐧𝐯 Adeleke, another oil block beneficiary. Do you know the meaning of giving oil block to somebody? A resources that is meant to be used by every indigenous people within Nigeria, and they gave it to Alakija, gave it to 𝐭𝐧𝐯 Adeleke, gave it to 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐶. Babangida pín fún gbogbo wọn, and that's why they have kept their mouth shut, knowing that Babangida killed Abiola with David Mark. And Yoruba people went to bed since Thursday when they had that book launch. To a Katima protest, but nobody wants to come out. Because the new government will not to bribe gbogbo yín, wọ́n ti fowó dìbò, wọ́n ti fowó bà àlámọ̀rí ayé wa jẹ́. Wọ́n ti fi owó bà àlámọ̀rí ayé wa jẹ́, kò sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ jáde. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń pa àwọn èèyàn fún Yorùbá nation ká máa béèrè pé èlò la máa fún àwọn bomb pastor. Ẹ bá wọn ìkẹ́ jáde, bó bá wọn ìkẹ́ má jáde. Bó bá wọn ìkẹ́ jáde, bó bá wọn ìkẹ́ má jáde. Ìyà ò jẹ àwọn ọmọ olóyè Ìgbòho. Fúlàní ò dẹ̀ lè mú olóyè. Wọ́n tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ. Gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ wọ́n tó bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n tó bẹ́ẹ̀. 1 million Fúlàní ò lè dá dúró. Ẹ lọ béèrè lọ́wọ́ Ọbásanjọ́ ìtọ́jú ẹ̀rí ní 2007. The same Obasanjo that Awujale says wanted to destroy Adenuga, because they are all the same. Gbogbo wọn lọ́mọ́ra wọn. Olè ló mọ ẹsẹ̀ olè tọ̀. Because Babangida mọ̀ pé olè nìyẹn náà. Ó dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé àwọn kan ló fọ́ndẹ̀. Even though ó sọ fún wa pé ibìkan lòun ti lọ yá owó tóun fi ṣe glo. Ta lẹ fẹ́ máa fún ta lọ dẹ̀. Ẹrù pé gbogbo wa lórí wọ̀ pé. Ta ló mọ̀ pé owó Nàìjíríà ni gbogbo yín fi dìde. Ẹ̀yin olùṣe olè olórí burúkú. Ẹ̀yin olè. Gbogbo yín pátá lẹ fowó Nàìjíríà dìde. Alákìjà dé ó di pásítọ̀ ọ̀sán kan nígbà tó gbé oil block fún tán tó dolówó. Ó wá ń campaign káwá lọ 7. Ẹ̀ ní ṣoríire gbogbo yín gbẹ̀ṣẹ́ ní káwá lọ 7 yẹn. Ẹ̀yin kówó dání. Ẹ dolówó, ẹ̀ ń gbádùn, ẹ wà ní air condition, ẹ ní security, ẹ lómi, ẹ níná, ẹ lè lọ sí lóyìnbó. Ẹ wá ní káwá kan wá lọ tá bá dé heaven, a lọ pàdé Ọlọ́run. Àfi pàdé Ọlọ́run nínú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Kọ́lọ́run dúró ná ká tó lọ pàdé, a fẹ́ rí Ọlọ́run nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. A fẹ́ rí Ọlọ́run tó ní omi nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. A fẹ́ rí Ọlọ́run nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tó níná, tó lómi, tó ní welfare, tó ní education, tó ní security. Ibẹ̀ láti fẹ́ rí Ọlọ́run. Àfi lọ sẹ́fún láti lọ rí Ọlọ́run. Ẹ ní ṣoríire gbogbo ìwòlíì gbogbo pastor tẹ́ sọ fún wa pé ká wá lọ. Ẹ ní kúure gbogbo ìtẹ́ bá ní ká lọ rí Ọlọ́run. If you die you go to heaven. No, àfi kú nísìn, àfi gbádùn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ká tó kú. Àfi rí Ọlọ́run nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. From bastard all over the place. Ẹ̀yin ìka, ẹ̀yin jẹgúrú jẹrá. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin wòlíì gidi àtẹ̀yin àfáà gidi. Ẹ wọnú ilé alúwà lọ́kẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí fún aládùúrà bá ṣe máa jáde. Kí wòlíì kankan máa rìnrìn ọ̀fọ̀ kankan sí wa pé káfẹ́ ẹ báyìí ti jáde ẹ ṣe sùúrù díẹ̀. Ogun máa pa gbogbo yín ni. Ogun ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ pa yín ni. Ẹ bá ní ká máa ti jáde ẹ ní ṣoríire. Don't bastard all over the place. Today, oil block beneficiary, they all started their energy company with Nigerian taxpayers' oil. That is why Saudi Arabia is far better than us, because Saudi Arabia refused to give anybody oil block. Do you know what it means to give people oil block? Give people oil block that the country is meant to control. What we found individual gbé fún Shell àwọn olórí burúkú, wọ́n gbé fún different energy companies around the world and destroyed everywhere. Reason why they killed 𝐄𝐧𝐯 in 1995 by another criminal Fulani man tó pè rẹ̀ ní Abacha. Tó ibi tó bá kú sí ó máa kú sí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni kò ní spirit ò ní káàkiri kankan mọ́. Àwọn olóṣèlú olórí burúkú, àwọn olè, wọ́n múlẹ̀ Yorùbá, wọ́n turn upside down. Wọ́n mú ibi tó epo wà nílẹ̀ àwọn tó ní epo, wọ́n turn upside down. Àwọn tó fi lọ́pọ̀ ẹja ò lè rí ẹja pa, wọ́n destroy. Pollution all over the place. Environmental damage all over the place. Shell refused to pay the price for clean up today. They all started their energy companies with Nigerian taxpayers' oil. Otto Eze donated 500 million. Ogboro donated 500 million. And it took owó. Do you know what it means to have oil plug? 500 million is like just having 1 pence. To the presidential library. Of it build the presidential library for Lori Buruku Babangida. Babangida to kó gbogbo owó jẹ tó lọ kọ́lé sí Minna. Sí Top Hill. Or to build the presidential library for Lori is 17 billion. Dangote no ma fún ní 8 billion. Abdul Samad Rabiu ìyẹn náà ma fún ní 5 billion. Alákìjà kò yàn fẹ́ ká mọ ètò ma fún. Àbí ìyá ẹ̀fẹ́ ká mọ ẹ̀ sọ ìtẹ́yìn fún ẹ̀fẹ́ fún ní kí ló tẹ́yìn sọ síta. Ìbẹ́yìn náà jẹ́nu ẹ̀. Ìgbẹ̀yìn olórí burúkú olè. Today Babangida confessed according to the dumb mainstream media, olórí burúkú mainstream media. You think that they will tell you the truth about the corrupt country called Nigeria. Who could have reported this years ago, but in fear of the owners, even Showore vindicated me as well today. May Uncle Isiaka, our family friend, aka 𝐄𝐳𝐯𝐲, rest in peace. In this picture I took with my dad when he visited him in 2016 in Oshogbo, he gave IBB sleepless night on Abiola's election. Who knows? Let's leave that and move to the next one swiftly because of my time constraint this morning. Let's go back and hear more from this American ambassador, 𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐭𝐬, the visitation by the British to Ooni of Ife. Kí ló lọ bá Ooni sọ? Kí ni British Britain wá káàkiri tán káàkiri bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣọlé wò lè mọ̀? Wọ́n tún bẹ̀rẹ̀. Wọ́n ti lọ bá Ooni of Ife.
Nigerian relationship is headed after my first 6 months here and under a new administration. I explained to them we're going to be focusing on 4 key priorities over the coming years. The first is how to improve the business environment so there's more trade between the United States and Nigeria, more investment on both sides. Second, a new renewed focus on improving transparency, accountability in this country, how to fight corruption, empower Nigerian voices that are fighting for more transparency here. Third, we want to be more engaged at the subnational level, at the state level, and with the local governing authorities. That's, I think, an area where the embassy needs to do a bit more engagement as we develop our programs and our assistance. And lastly, we talked about our healthcare programs, because our healthcare programs are a large part of U.S. assistance to Nigeria, and as those programs are succeeding, as less people have HIV, as polio vaccinations have helped eradicate polio, we want to start transitioning those programs, keep them sustainable, and turn them over to the Nigerian government at the federal level, at the state level. So how do we keep our health programs sustainable and transfer it over to the Nigerian government so they can run them and make them more effective in a new healthcare future? So that's what we talked about, that vision. And with that, I'm happy to take some questions.
Take the first question from AIT.
AIT. Certainly. What we'd like to see is, I think, more direct engagement at the state level, our programs more focused on the states. We'd like to help develop capacity of the states and the local governing authorities. I think this is partly driven by the Supreme Court decision last summer that is going to give, I think, the LGAs, if this unfolds the way we think it will, perhaps some more authority, more fiscal responsibility. So we want to help the LGAs transition, take on this new responsibility and make sure they can work well with the states. Based on our experience in the United States, where we have a federal system too, and where one of our governing principles is the most effective government is the government.
If you believe all this nonsense coming from them, you will wait forever. Let's take you quickly, because of our time, at the early hours of this morning, to the visit again by the white people to Ooni of Ife. And what is funny about this visit is some of what I read coming out from the deputy British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Johnny Baxter. Àwọn òyìnbó ìmọ̀ àrò pé àwọn tẹ̀ ní àwọn ní agbárí láti lè tún fi confuse the brain wa. They've confused us since 1914. They can no longer confuse us. We are more smarter now than before. So if you are still open about our quick program, about our Bowley share button, it's not easy to wake up at the early hours and come out and talk. Please share the program and also invite others to do so. I want to give us the images of the visit. The British made a visit to Ooni of Ife. Kí ni wọ́n sọ? That is our Kábíyèsí with the British representative, as you can see in that images that I've just shown you right there. That is the Deputy British Ambassador to Nigeria. Kí ni wọ́n lọ bá Ọọ̀ni sọ? Òun la fẹ́ sáré gbẹnu lé lórí. The British envoy visit Ooni of Ife and praises Yoruba culture. Really? How can you praise a culture inside Nigeria that Nigeria does not respect our tradition? You can see how they want to push Sharia on our lives. You can see how they're telling us that they say Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo. You can see how Devil of Sokoto is planning to invade Yoruba land with Sharia. So kini this British envoy telling us about the praises of Yoruba culture. Yoruba culture le jáde tabashi wà ní Nigeria after ban parọ́ fúnra wa. The earlier we understand that the reason why our culture is not valued is because we are inside Nigeria. The day Tabati exit Nigeria, there will be respect for our culture and there will be respect for those that believe in other things that is not our culture. Because not everybody believes in our culture. I am Omo Yoruba and I love my culture. But we have been told by the white people that our culture is not something that we should love and respect. Tẹ́bá sọ fún yàn nísìn pé mo fẹ́ dọ́dọ̀ babaláwo nísìn. Ṣé ló máa wẹ̀ pé kí ló fẹ́ lọ ṣe dọ́dọ̀ babaláwo? Is that not what they've destroyed? Is that not what they've destroyed? The same British that is talking about our culture. Ṣé o lè sọ fún yàn nísìn? Ṣé wọ́n lè sọ fún yàn pé o máa dọ́dọ̀ babaláwo? Pé mo fẹ́ sáré dọ́dọ̀ babaláwo kábọ̀. But it is very cool to say mo fẹ́ dọ́dọ̀ pastor mi. And nothing is wrong with that. Mo fẹ́ sáré dọ́dọ̀ àfáà mi. Kò sí kankan tó ṣe yẹn. Let's go further. The Deputy British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Johnny Baxter, paid a courtesy visit to the Ooni of Ife, Ọba 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐢𝐭𝐬, at his palace at Ile-Ife. Àtẹ̀dúpẹ́ tó ń ṣe pé Ọọ̀ni ló lọ bá wọn. Àtẹ̀dúpẹ́ pé òun ló lọ sí palace tí kò ṣe pé wọ́n ní kí Ọọ̀ni máa bọ̀. Because I remember when Prince Charles, kó tó di pé ìyá ẹ̀kú tó gbọ́yè, came to Nigeria. How many of you remember that? They told Ọọ̀ni to fly from his base in Ile-Ife to come and meet Prince Charles. Wọ́n lè sọ fún Prince Charles pé kó máa bọ̀ ní Ile-Ife. Oh my God. How many of you remember that? wọ́n ní kí Ọọ̀ni wọ plane kó wá bá Prince Charles ní Abuja. Ọọ̀ni ò lè sọ fún Prince Charles pé kó máa bọ̀ l'Abuja, kó máa bọ̀ ní Ilé-Ifẹ̀, kó wá yọjú sóhun. Ta ni Prince Charles as at that time tó tó di ọba ni mo ń sọ yìí, even as bó ṣe jẹ́ ọba gan sẹ̀. The visit was disclosed through images, which is what I've shown you, and there are other images as well. There are 2 more other images. Let's see if we can pull them out as quickly as possible. Once again, you are listening to Koikimedia awareness campaign. Mama káàkiri ni ẹbẹ ṣe oníwòlímọ̀. Do you know that he also visited the Scared Grove? Mo tẹ̀sẹ̀ ń rélé nísìnyí. The same man, I'm sorry, Johnny Baxter, visited Ọ̀ṣun Scared Grove, tá à ń pè ní Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo, and it was incredible. Ẹgbọ́n kan tó pè, a must-see culture treasury in Òṣogbo. If you are in the area, make sure to stop by and experience the tourist attraction for yourself. Ìyẹn British High Commissioner Olùṣẹ́ sọ fún wa pé ká visit Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo. Tóun ló máa sọ fún wa pé ká lọ sí Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo. Ìyá ti jẹran wa. Ìyá ó ti jẹran wa. That's in there. I'm just saying this one. Àwọn ló destroy culture wa. Britain ló destroy culture ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, ló gbé Nàìjíríà lé wa lórí. What is their move again? Because tó bá ti move by, there is something going underneath. Ṣé wọ́n gbọ́ nǹkankan ni àbí lẹ́tà tá ṣe mú lọ fún wọn lọ́n react sí? Tó lọ sọ fún wọn ni pé kó wọ́n ní Bàbá Akíntóyè tó fẹ́ break Nigeria. I am a journalist. I can take you to any level and any length and remind you that I should be letter lọ sọ́dọ̀ ọba, because that letter, like I told you earlier last year, letter yẹn ti wà lọ́wọ́ King Charles. Is it the British government that is telling their representative in Nigeria pé kọ́ lọ sọ fún Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ kó wọ́n ní Bàbá Akíntóyè àti Ìgbòho, kó wọ́n ní wọn dáadáa pé kò sí kankan tó ń pè ní break up of Nigeria because kò kọ́ bẹ̀ àwọn ní. Ó wá ń sọ fáwa nípa Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo. Ṣé eléyìí ló yẹ kó máa sọ̀rọ̀ Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo fáwa? Do you understand? Mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí ìjókòó, ẹ má bínú pé mo lè tí dárúkọ yín. Ṣé òun ló yẹ kó máa sọ ọ̀rọ̀ Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo fáwa ọmọ Yorùbá? Àbáwá rí ó yẹ ká pìtàn Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo fún Britain. Ẹ wo bó ṣe báyé wa tó sọ somersault. Only a great story in Ọ̀ṣun State. British technology at work at the Nigerian machine tools. This allowed the Nigerian company to produce items at a high enough quality to meet local demand and then export, earning valuable foreign exchange for Nigeria. Win-win. Ṣẹ̀rí Britain ti ń gbé wọn mọ́ra ní Ọ̀ṣun State. Mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ yìí lánàá, but time was not there and I was moving from one area to the other. Ṣẹ̀rí ọmọ Yorùbá, tá a bá tètè dìde ní kíákíá. What I slept over it yesterday and I'm trying to figure out what is the move again. Is this based on letter tí Bàbá Akíntóyè? Ṣé wọ́n lọ sọ fún Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ kó pe Bàbá Akíntóyè kó wọ́n ní Bàbá Akíntóyè lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation tó gbé dání? Because wọ́n mọ̀ pé bàbá yẹn mean business. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé Bàbá Akíntóyè mean business, pé kò ṣeré. Wọ́n rí pé wọ́n lè compromise Bàbá Akíntóyè bó ṣe compromise gbogbo àwọn àgbàlagbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó fún lówó tó. Ẹlòmíì Britain, do you know that Britain normally call them and say visa mélòó lọ need? Gbogbo àwọn bàbá òfò tẹ́ ń rí yẹn, àwọn bàbá olè, àwọn ìyá òfò. Wọ́n máa ń bí wọ́n pé tó bá need visa fáwọn ọmọ wọn tó fi lọ sí abroad kó jẹ́ káwọn mọ̀ special visa, special ìmí wọn fún wọn ní scholarship. Kí ni deputy high commissioner Britain tó ń wá káàkiri at this crucial time tá a máa fẹ́ exit Nigeria again tá a fi máa fẹ́ gbé rally jáde ṣé wọ́n lọ sọ fún Ọọ̀ni pé kó pè wá pé ká bá jáde fún rally mi? I don't know, but I'm waiting to hear more behind the scene, and if I hear anything and it's something I can come and share with us, I will. Màá pe bàbá lọ́la àbí tílẹ̀ bá mọ́ lẹ́yìn màá pe bàbá Akíntóyè pé ṣé wọ́n mọ̀ pé wọ́n tún ti dọ́dọ̀ Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀. Ṣé rántí pé this is how Kùkùté olórí burúkú ta ló rántí Kùkùté? I don't want to mention her name, but you know who I'm talking about. Èyí tó wà níbẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ó ti wà ní Sudan nísìn. Ṣé rántí pé bó ṣe káàkiri nìyẹn tó lọ sọ́dọ̀ Aláàfin tó ń lọ káàkiri tó ń lọ káàkiri short woman devil bí àṣà El-Rufai short man devil tó ń lọ káàkiri. Ṣé wọ́n tún gbélé náà jáde pé kó lọ sọ fún Ọọ̀ni o kí Ọọ̀ni pé Ìgbòho kó dẹ̀ pé bàbá Akíntóyè kó sọ fún gbogbo àwọn tó ń ṣe Yorùbá nation pé Nàìjíríà gbọdọ̀ pín nísìnyí o ẹ̀yẹ́ mọ́ Yorùbá wo tá a bá gbára wa sílẹ̀ ṣége bánsá nìyà tó máa jẹ gbogbo wa including myself. If you think that ọ̀rọ̀ ta kọ̀rọ̀ rán sọ yìí Britain ṣe ń sọ fún àwa nípa culture Yorùbá culture, ẹ jẹ́ kí kọ́kọ́ ka bí tí mo fẹ́ mú jáde tán ká tó tún wọnú eléyìí lọ. The visit was disclosed at the revisit yẹn, and these are other images. Ìyẹn mo fẹ́ fi hàn wá tẹ́lẹ̀. Now, according to wife mi, èmi ò dáhùn ìyàwó kábíyèsí mọ̀. Ìyàwó mi ló ń sọ fún mi pé àwọn ìyàwó ọba méjèèjì tí wọ́n ń gbé ní Britain, so ṣẹ́rí kàjọ́ kan ṣe nígbà tí òyìnbó ń bọ̀ wọ́n lọ kọ́ àwọn olórí méjì tó wá láti England tó ń fẹ́ bàbá wa kábíyèsí nísìn. Ọba ní right láti fẹ́ as many ìyẹn ṣe problem ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nìyẹn. Wọ́n wá present àwọn yẹn síwájú. What an amazing time to be alive, to be witnessing all this happening in our time. Now, òun àdírẹ́sì kábíyèsí ní bíbá. Kí ni wọ́n sọ nínú inner caucus tó ń ṣe ìtọ́gbé jáde nínú ìròyìn pé ó lọ síbẹ̀? Kí la mọ̀ kàn discuss? Irú lẹ́tà wo la mọ̀ tó gbé lọ fún kábíyèsí pé kọ́ wọ́n ní bàbá Akíntóyè dáadáa o, pé kọ́ sọ fún bàbá Akíntóyè pé Nàìjíríà ò lè pín nísìnyí o, kí bàbá lọ ṣe sùúrù díẹ̀, bàbá 90 years old kó lọ ṣe sùúrù títí lọ́dún wo tí Tinubu máa fi ṣe tán àbí nígbà wo. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ further. Blackstar àbí Baxter, Johnny Baxter expressed his appreciation for the opportunity to pay homage to the monarch and deepen his understanding of Yoruba culture. Maybe for him personally, but Britain ò lè sọ fún apá àwọn ọmọ nípa Yoruba culture. Wọ́n mọ̀ dáadáa. Wọ́n mọ̀ culture wa dáadáa ni wọ́n ṣe gba culture kúrò lọ́wọ́ wa tó gbé gbẹ̀tugbẹ̀tu lé gbogbo wa lọ́wọ́, tó gbé fake lé wa lọ́wọ́. Britain ó mọ̀ Yorùbá back, front, forward, backward. Ìdí tó ṣe gbé fún bàbá wo lọ́wọ́ nìyẹn, tó ṣe gbé fún àwọn Fúlàní Gàbàrí. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. The caption read, "Honored to be hosted by Ooni of Ife, Adeyeye Ogunwusi, the paramount ruler of Yoruba Kingdom." Tí kò ní ṣe. Yes. Ṣé èwo ni Ọọ̀ni ní nísìn nínú Nàìjíríà? Àṣẹ tí King Charles bá pa òun náà máa tẹ̀lé ní Britain. Ṣé tí Ọọ̀ni bá pàṣẹ nísìn, ṣé president Nàìjíríà máa follow ẹ̀? Ìbéèrè ni o. Mo ní tí kábíyèsí bá pàṣẹ nínú Nàìjíríà, bí ẹ ti gbàgbé ẹjẹ gbẹ̀yìn débẹ̀. Channels Television 1st of March 2024 mo sọ pé kó máa pé ọdún kan, ojú nìkan máa ń pẹ́ sí. By next week. Yeah. Àmàmà sọ pé a fẹ́ mú March. Ṣé mo kó máa pé ọdún kan tó pé security summit. But let's go with this article. Ọba Ògúnwùsì, Yoruba traditional rulers deliberate on solution to kidnapping, banditry at summit. Summit tó mú kankan jáde. Summit irọ́ tó mú nothing jáde bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ títí wákàtí. I've been talking about this for how many days now? Pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí summit tá a ṣe kábíyèsí? Summit tẹ pé yẹn tí gbogbo èrò wá káwọn ọba oríṣiríṣi àwọn baálẹ̀ olúkálùkù wá sọ tiẹ̀ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí? Deputy British High Commissioner ṣe wá ń sọ fáwa pé the paramount ruler of Yoruba Kingdom. So Britain mọ̀ pé kingdom ni wá, yet a wà lábẹ́ Nàìjíríà. Ṣe rí gimmick tó ń play pẹ̀lú wa. Wọ́n lo kingdom nígbà tó fẹ́ lọ wọ́n júre kábíyèsí pé kábíyèsí kingdom níyìn o, bọ̀ ẹ má bínú pé wà lábẹ́ Nàìjíríà o, ìtẹ́ bá fẹ́ a máa fún yín o. Ṣe rí game tó ń play. Ṣe rí game tí Britain ń play pẹ̀lú mind wa. Ṣé tí wọn náà bá gbọ́ Yorùbá Kingdom nísìn ṣe mọ̀ pé inú àwọn àdùn Yorùbá Kingdom yet a wà nínú Nàìjíríà. Kí ló dé ká wá jẹ́ Yorùbá tá a bá tẹ̀sí pé ní Yorùbá nation? Kí ló dé tá a dúró as Yorùbá Kingdom? United Kingdom ló ń pe tí ibi tẹ́mi gbé. United Kingdom tó ní ọba ló pàṣẹ fún gbogbo wọn. Prime Minister wa Keir Starmer, àṣẹ tí ọba bá pa ló gbọ́dọ̀ tẹ̀lé wọ́n bí bá bẹ́ẹ̀ dá kó náà ní tẹ̀lé. Ṣé Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ lè pàṣẹ kí Tinubu tẹ̀lé àṣẹ yẹn? Ọọ̀ni ti pàṣẹ kí local government dá lóhùn. Mo kí kábíyèsí lẹ́ǹkan sí o orí adé. Ṣé Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ lè pàṣẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́nìí kí local government kan dá lóhùn? Bí Ọọ̀ni bá fẹ́ travel nísìn ó gbọ́dọ̀ sọ fún local government ẹ̀ pé òun travel. Ẹ̀rí bó ṣe ẹ̀rí bí British ṣe báyé bó ṣe báyé tradition wa jẹ́. Ṣé rí Britain bó ṣe báyé tradition wa jẹ́? Ṣé tí King Charles bá fẹ́ travel ṣé ó gbọ́dọ̀ pàṣẹ ó gbọ́dọ̀ gbàṣẹ lọ́wọ́ local government bóun fẹ́ lọ òun fẹ́ sáré travel lọ òun lọ Africa òun débọ̀? And these are the deceits that many Yoruba people are still. Ẹlòmíì torí pé kó bá gba visa ó ń ṣe bọ̀ìbọ̀ì fún wọn. Ẹ̀wù rọ́tọ́ gbé kalẹ̀. Mo ní 1st of March ó máa pé ọdún kan tí security summit ṣẹlẹ̀. Àgbọ̀pá àgbọ̀pọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ quiet. Ṣé how many people tí wọ́n ti pa tó ti jí gbé tó ti san ransom? Ṣé mọ̀ pé Afẹ́nifẹ́re ìkan náà àwọn youth wọn nísìn wọ́n ti jí gbé l'Abuja wọ́n ní kó lọ mú 100 million wá. Láti 1st of March títí di bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ mọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá kan ti pa tó ti jí gbé. Ìmí àtẹ̀ ní rẹ́kọ̀dẹ̀ nígbà tẹ̀ fún wa because media gbọ́dọ̀ ní enough resources to work with láti máa document gbogbo kìíní. Ọba Ògúnwùsì appeal to traditional leaders in Nigeria to take full possession of their forest. But kábíyèsí Ìgbòho sọ fún yín pé òun máa ṣe lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ẹ má fún òun lówó òun máa wọnú gbó. Èmi náà tẹ̀lé as a journalist àwọn tó jẹ́ akọgbọ́n ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ̀lé nídòwó kábíyèsí nídòwó gọ́vnà a máa lé fún sọ pé Fúlàní tó ń gbé láàrin wa nínú gbòòrò Fúlàní tá a bá nínú gbó a gbọ́dọ̀ dín pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Ọọ̀ni ẹ̀ fún aláyé ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ sí kábíyèsí ẹ dákẹ́ ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ sí mọ́ àmọ́ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ ní ọba bá lórí gbogbo ohun tí wọ́n sọ nìyẹn. Ṣé ọba bá lórí Nàìjíríà? Ẹ jẹ́ ká má tọ́ra wa náà. Why are we living in denial? À ń gbé fake life gbogbo wa àná ní kábíyèsí wa ò lè pàṣẹ nínú Nàìjíríà káṣẹ yẹn múlẹ̀. Kábíyèsí ò lè pàṣẹ yet Britain sọ fún èmi Ọláyọmí Kóìkì pé àwa ọmọ Yorùbá o a ní kingdom yet kingdom yẹn coexist on paper because officially kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ Yorùbá kingdom àfi tẹ́ bá ń parọ́ fúnra yín, because Nigeria ni wọ́n recognize. Ṣé wọ́n mọ Nigeria tó recognize yẹn? Islam ni wọ́n recognize níta, wọ́n recognize anybody tó ń jẹ́ Yorùbá àbí Igbo. Nigeria níta is recognized as an Islamic country. Mo kí ẹ must be. Mo kí ẹ ìyá wa tẹ́ wà lórí ètò. So kí là ń parọ́ fúnra wa fún? Wọ́n ní United Kingdom, England ilẹ̀, Scotland ilẹ̀, níbo ni ilẹ̀ tiwa wà? Ó wà lábẹ́ Nigeria. Who is fooling who? That I still don't understand the purpose of this visit. Ṣé Britain ti padà ó review letter yẹn, ó ti kàdélẹ̀, wọ́n ti ní understanding tí bàbá Akíntóyè kọ síbẹ̀ láti October 12 ní aago 2 ta deliver letter. Wọ́n ti wá gbọ́ pé ó dà ń pa àwọn Yorùbá yìí àwọn náà máa gbọ́ fìrífìrí kó má lọ tún bá wọn lójijì bóyá wọ́n ti sọ fún ọ ní kó pe Ìgbòho àti bàbá Akíntóyè, because I still don't understand what this visit is all about. The purpose of the visit by the British representative to 𝐄𝐳𝐲. Only I am grateful for the warm reception our Yoruba land hospitality. Ìyẹn làwọn Igbo ṣe ń ṣe yamayama nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, because a ti fún wọn ní hospitality tó pọ̀ jù. A fún wọn hospitality, lọ fún wọn ní fake drug, lọ fún wọn ní fake product. Torí a ti fún wọn ní hospitality tó pọ̀ ní. Àwa wí tán wọn náà complain ní Ìdúmọ̀tà pé wọ́n ti shop àwọn. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ti shop yín now. Your shop needs to be closed because we don't know what you are selling to our people. Fake drug lẹ́ńtà fáwọn èèyàn wa. You are killing Yoruba people in Yoruba land. And you expect Governor Sanwo-Olu, we might not agree with Sanwo-Olu on everything, but we expect him to look after the Yoruba people within Lagos State. You cannot be selling fake product and tell Sanwo-Olu to open Idumota so that can enter product. All this your fake product that you are bringing from Aba. Bomb bastard. Hospitality yẹn ló fẹ́ pa wá nísìn tí Fúlàní wọlé lójoojúmọ́. Every blessed day there's nothing less than 3 trucks ló ń wọlé. We are taking Boko. I am uploading the picture, but Yoruba people are sleeping. Kí lẹ ti fẹ́ kí mi tún ṣe jù yẹn lọ? Àwọn ọmọ ta fi sí border bó ṣe ń wọlé lọ send the picture yẹn sí mi. Àwọn uploaded. A ní governor wọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀. Gbogbo wọn dákẹ́. General Togo ó jáde. Ó ní Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn kò sí kankan tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn. If anybody tells you Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn is working, tuntun ẹ̀dá ìrọ̀lú wà ń bẹ̀. If anybody tells you Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn, we have about 32 minutes, if not a little bit less, to end this broadcast. Tẹ́nìkan kan bá sọ fún yín pé Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ṣiṣẹ́, irọ́ is all balanced lie, according to former Brigadier General Togo. Let's move swiftly. Now, the purpose of the visit is to discuss the important role of traditional rulers. Britain is sọ fún Ọọ̀ni pé òun wá bá Ọọ̀ni sọ̀rọ̀ láti lè jẹ́ kí Ọọ̀ni mọ̀ nípa the important role of traditional rulers. The same traditional rulers tí wọ́n bá dáadáa before the amalgamation. The traditional rulers that know the respect for humanity, respect for human, obìnrin, ọkùnrin, before ọkọ tó kó gbogbo wa papọ̀ tán pè ní Nàìjíríà. Òun ni Britain tún wá remind the kábíyèsí pé òun wá bá kábíyèsí discuss the role of tradition. What is the role of traditional ruler in Nigeria today, in Yoruba land? Gbogbo wọn pátá wọn ní role kankan mọ́. Ọọ̀ni ò lè pàṣẹ káṣẹ yẹn ṣiṣẹ́ nínú Nigeria. And the example of that is the security summit that Ọọ̀ni called. As we speak today, no outcome from that summit. So when we are told that they have also come to learn about the culture of Yoruba people. I am confused. Britain is supposed to learn about Yoruba culture. The Yoruba culture that was destroyed purposely for their own selfish gain. Who is fooling who? We can only continue to highlight all these because most of you did not know that there was a visit to Osun State. My job is to tell you that it has occurred. The purpose of that visit is far beyond all these rhetorics. Tonsolori tweet one. If you believe this, you believe that for your own stupidity. There is far more behind the scene that I am very sure of. And as I prepare to wind down the program again this morning, I am just a messenger. It's entirely up to you to take the message that Yoruba people need to be free, or we will all suffer the consequence of not being free from Nigeria. Our king cannot speak. Our culture has been taken away from us. Our tradition has been destroyed. And the agenda is real. So it's up to you. And if you ever think that Nigeria will be free from all this bondage, it can never be free. This visit of, and I'm going to use, I'll change my terms and use these so that it can be on record that I have come out on every visit in the last 4 years of Britain to our king and talked about it. My yob, and I'll also change the headline slightly because I want this to go on record again. Koikimedia ó wá sọ̀rọ̀ pé kí ni Britain wá lọ sí Ọọ̀ni of Ife again, because ambassador is just representing Britain. Ó lọ represent Britain ni, kò lọ represent ààrẹ. It's not a courtesy visit, it's an official visit. There's difference between courtesy and official, but they are there to confuse us as Britain did since 1914. Láti parọ́ pé Nàìjíríà máa ṣoríire, Nàìjíríà máa dá, kí gbogbo wa ká lọ ṣe sùúrù fún Nàìjíríà. Yet wọ́n mọ̀ pé Nàìjíríà òun ló gba ògo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá á ti sùn wọ́n, àdẹ̀ ń sùn, ẹja àjí lójú oorun. Àsìkò ọrùn kọ́ lélẹ̀, èmi náà sùn o, but mo sùn with so much pain. Every day I go to bed, I am feeling pain of what is happening in Yoruba land. And it's entirely up to us, this generation, to demand our right. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó máa gbà wálẹ̀ o, àwa la gbọ́dọ̀ gbàrà wá sílẹ̀ o. Àsìkò kò sí on our side. Let me read quickly how it all went last year tí Ọọ̀ni pé summit yẹn, according to the channels. Ọọ̀ni of Ife Ọba Adéyẹyè Ògúnwùsì on Friday, March 1st, hosted the 2024 Yoruba Security Summit. Yoruba Security Summit. Yoruba Security Summit. Àgbọ̀n kankan mọ́, àgbọ̀ pa, àgbọ̀ pó láti ọdún kan. A lè sọ pé àṣẹ wà lánàá ọba. Ṣé tí King Charles tó bá ń jí àwọn èèyàn pé ní Britain tó bá pàṣẹ wọn ní mú àṣẹ yẹn? Ìbéèrè ni o. Ṣé position King Charles ó ju ti Ọọ̀ni lọ ni? Kò jù lọ. Ọọ̀ni ju King Charles lọ in terms of their position. Ọọ̀ni kábíyèsí Ọọ̀ni of Ife position ni wọ́n ju ti King Charles lọ. Yet King Charles control Great Britain. Ọọ̀ni ò lè control ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ọọ̀ni ò lè pàṣẹ. Wọ́n ń jí wa gbé, Fúlàní ń pa wá, wọ́n ń dún àwọn àgbàlagbà nínú igbó, wọ́n ń fàdíyà because bá ṣe lè sọ tó máa yé yín nìyẹn. Wọ́n ń ṣàwọn èèyàn lọ́wọ́, wọ́n ń bá àwọn èèyàn lójú, wọ́n ń pààyàn, wọ́n ń gba ransom. Ọọ̀ni dẹ̀ pé summit àdẹ̀gbọ́n kankan mọ́ lẹ́yìn summit yẹn, Ọọ̀ni dákẹ́. So ó ti ṣó pé Ọọ̀ni ò ní agbára kankan nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Wọ́n ò lè pàṣẹ. It's a fact. Àfi tá a bá ń parọ́ fúnra wa. Àfi tí a bá ń parọ́ fúnra wa nìkan ló kù. Because we expect Ọọ̀ni to be able to make decision, and that decision. Ṣé Tinubu sọ fún Ọọ̀ni pé kó stop? Àbí Sultan of Sokoto tó pèrè ní Devil of Sokoto? Àbí Ibrahim Babangida ló sọ fún Ọọ̀ni? Àbí Governor Adeleke ló sọ fún Ọọ̀ni? Àbí ta ló sọ fún Ọọ̀ni pé kí Ọọ̀ni máa continue? Because in tó Ọọ̀ni fẹ́ ṣe yẹn, in tó máa dáàbò bo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni. Wọ́n jẹ́ kí Ọọ̀ni parí ẹ̀. Èmi mọ̀ pé Ọọ̀ni fẹ́ ṣe. Mo mọ̀ yẹn dájú. Mo mọ̀ yẹn nínú ọkàn mi. But ta ni ò fẹ́ fún Ọọ̀ni ṣe? I'm working with time. I need to go now. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. The Yoruba Security Summit, where he met with other traditional rulers in the southwest region and deliberate on the practicable solutions to kidnapping and banditry in the region. Títí di bá ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀, kidnapping ṣì ń ṣẹlẹ̀, banditry ṣì ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Ó mà ṣe o. Ó mà ṣe o. Èèyàn kan ní, I suggest that Ọọ̀ni of Ife should call this kind of conference twice a year. Èyí tó pè ní once a year kí la ti rí solutions. So kákọ̀ máa pe conference, kọ́ dé agbádá, kọ́ dé fìlà, kọ́ ṣòwò rẹ̀, ó yá Yorùbá anthem, iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ fún gbogbo wa, and everybody goes home and that's the end. That has been Nigeria method. Conference. That's what they've done for 64 years. Tolórí burúkú Babangida. And before I go, because I don't have time anymore, I have a very limited time, and the last article is testimony 𝐄𝐲𝐢𝐭𝐬, Susan Wright, The Deadly Cup of Tea by Femi Fani-Kayode. Ambassador Susan Wright is the American ambassador to the United Nations. A long-standing aspiration for becoming the Secretary of State for our country was dashed when the Republicans in the Senate started sharpening their knife in the anticipation of her former nomination for the position of President Barack Obama. Sensing that her nomination would not scale through, the Senate, and that she would not be confirmed as the Secretary of State due to the role she played. Due to the role mi pé in tó ṣe nígbà tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ láabi tó fi pa 𝐁𝐫𝐢𝐭𝐬, due to the role she played in the cover-up of also the Benghazi affair, in which American ambassador to Libya, Christopher Stevens, and 3 other American citizens were murdered. Ẹ lọ wo movie yẹn, Benghazi. Èmi ti wò many times. American ambassador was killed in Libya, in Benghazi. Instead of Secretary of State, President Obama has now nominated her for the position of National Security Advisor, which is a job that does not require Senate approval or confirmation. I wish Susan Wright well in her new assignment, but I am constrained to ask the following question. Journalists máa ń béèrè question. We ask question because we need answer to it. What did she put in the tea that she served to late 𝐁𝐫𝐲𝐢𝐭𝐬 on July 8, 1998? Tí ni wọ́n fi sínú tíì tí Abiola mu? Fani-Kayode ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ Susan Wright. You can see that àti wà nínú one chance ti pẹ́. She was one of the last people that saw him alive. She served him to some tea. He coughed violently, and 1 hour later, Abiola died. He did not survive that tea. Tó bá ní kó mu tea nílùú òyìnbó, ọmọlẹ́gbàá mi wàá máa gbá tea yẹn sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Kò tẹ́ ń ṣe irú àwa nísàn gbọ́dọ̀ mu tea anyhow. O lè serve mi ní any tea àbí any drink ìgbà lọ́wọ́ ẹni sí torí àwọn tẹ máa fi sí. Come bastard all over the place. Bó ṣe pa Abiola dànù nìyẹn. Tó ṣe rán Abiola mu tea yẹn báyìí torí pé ó ti mu tea tipẹ́. Ó dẹ̀ wí pé àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ òun lọ Amẹ́ríkà tó dé just like báwọn náà ṣe rò pé aláwọn ọ̀rẹ́ kan, they are all enemies within and outside. Ẹ má gbàgbé kẹran iléeṣẹ́ yìí lọ́wọ́, ìtò important nìyẹn. Tẹ bá fún wa kò pọ̀ jù, tẹ bá ti fún wa tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ tún lè fún wa sí. We need money. A week ló kù tá a máa fi lọ sékìtì. Àìtí mọ̀ báwọn tíìmù ṣe fi lọ rally ń bọ̀. There's still so many things that this media needs to operate with. And we know that you will not disappoint us. Gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ fún wa náà ni mo máa ń dúpẹ́ fún. Every blessed day, no matter how small, support this organization. I am not a blogger. We are an organization that have the team that are ready to serve Yoruba people. Mo sọ fún wọn tó bá mi ṣiṣẹ́ pé tó o bá ní ṣe Yoruba nation, o ní bá mi ṣiṣẹ́. You have the right to leave. Àjọmọdélẹ̀ lè rí o, but kò ń ṣe pé tẹnu iṣẹ́ la máa ṣe. Sórí wọ tí wọ́n ní kó lọ máa jẹ wédú, tán ní kó lọ máa jàkàrà, tán ní kó lọ ṣe sàárà, tán ní kó rúbọ, tán ní kó ṣògùn, tó lóò ṣògùn. Well, èmi ò lè force anybody kó ṣògùn. It's entirely up to you. Mo lọ dira o. Torí àmọ́ tó ń bọ̀ nínú Nàìjíríà nígbà tó bá lọ dé kó má dé bẹ́ẹ̀ lójijì. Kò ń ṣọ̀rọ̀ rálì nìkan tó bá dira dáadáa. Àìmọye àwọn ọmọ táwọn Fúlàní tó ń pàdé táwọn náà ń pàṣẹ fún wọn padà. Wọ́n dira dáadáa ni. Àìmọye lòmíì tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe jàǹbá fún láàrin city bọ̀ nítorí kó dira dáadáa. Many atrocities in London, Nigeria. This is not the time to joke. Igbo fẹ́ kidnap yín, Yoruba gan fẹ́ kidnap yín, but we know that the bulk of the problem are terrorism and many other problems. One chance, ó sì ṣẹlẹ̀ l'Abuja tó bá dira dáadáa. One chance ò lè pàdé ẹ̀ tó bá dira dáadáa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá. Má jẹ́ kẹ́ni kankan fúnlẹ̀ o, má jẹ́ kí pásítọ̀ kankan sọ fún ẹ pé má lọ dira dáadáa. Àsìkò tí yàn ń dira láwa yìí, àsìkò tọ́mọ Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ dira láwa yìí, á ti wà nínú ogun o. A ti wà nínú ogun o, mo sọ fún yín, a ti wà nínú ogun. Kò dìgbà tí ó bá di gbàsgbòs, a ti wà nínú ogun o. Lọ dira o, kí kó má bàa pa ẹ́ o. Mo ní sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin yá wa. Ẹ má kí n máa dárúkọ because mo ti wà very very short of time now. I gotta go now. There's so much that we'll be discussing if time permits another time. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí o. Mo kí bàbá wa Akíntóyè kọ́lọ́run ọba Elédùmarè kó bá wa lọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀mí kó fún ilé mi gbígbó àtàláfíà. Olóyè ọmọdé yẹmọ Ìgbòho Òòṣà, mo ní mo dúró tiẹ̀ dáadáa. Ìjọ tó bá ti náà lọ Nàìjíríà, àjọ máa dé Nàìjíríà ni. I will not leave you alone to go to Nigeria on your own. Ẹ̀dẹ̀ má pè mí pé gbà ní Ìgbòho ń bọ̀ Nàìjíríà. That is entirely up to him to decide. But ìjọkíjọ tó bá náà ń bọ̀ Nàìjíríà, àjọ máa dé Nàìjíríà ni. Ní tó bá máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ní kó ṣẹlẹ̀. Tẹ́yìn ò bá lè tẹ̀lé wa lọ, ẹ máa fàdúrà ràn wá lọ́wọ́. I am not interested in all this prophecy. Ẹ má lọ Nàìjíríà, ẹ má ṣe kiri kan. Ẹ̀ǹkan lọmọkùnrin máa ṣe kíni ló máa wà láyé torí ikú kan ọ̀pá wa nísìn. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin dáwà lórí ètò àdúrà jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Bye for now. Mo kí brother mi Ọba ní Jésù ẹ ṣé gan ni mo kí gbogbo yín o. Gàní olóyè lè mo kí ẹ. Bye for now.